What if I could help you add $500,000 in revenue next year for $500 a month? What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Earn and Grow Show, the call-in show where you learn how to earn your income online and grow your impact out in the world. Shane Sams in the host seat, in the captain's chair, making it so, baby. Episode this week, I'm super excited to be here. Cannot wait to answer some incredible questions from our amazing community. This is a members only exclusive. If you want to attend live, guys, you got to be a part of the community. You can come ask me questions. You can hang out. You can shamelessly plug your show out into the interwebs. And we got some great questions and some great members in our community for you this week. But we do let you listen in so that you can earn your income online and grow your business just like our guest today. And let's just jump right into it. Kevin Crow, who we got up for our first question on today's Earn and Grow Show?
We've got Steve from titaniumpractice.com.
Steve, what is happening, man? How you doing today,
How you doing?
buddy? I'm doing great. I am jacked up on caffeine. I've been drinking caffeine since the last episode.
Is that one of those primes? Is that what you're drinking?
No, I do. I tell you what, this is Rain. This is this Razzleberry Rain. I don't drink these very much anymore. Probably once a month, maybe. But the Razzleberry Rain, shameless plug. I am not a sponsor. Is really good. But I tell you what, I do love. I love the Prime carb drinks, the ones that are like Gatorades.
Yes.
I don't drink the energy drink one, but I drink like one of those. They're delicious. I don't know.
I was going to say, if you did the energy drinks, you might just like go right through the camera.
Might go right through the camera with the Prime. I might. I've had the tropical punch one time, and I was like, that made my heart want to stop. So I'm not going to drink that anymore. You know, I've not had caffeine in a month, and I drank another freaking energy drink today. I don't know why I'm doing this. And I drank one, and I was like, I'm already planning like a 10-mile hike later, and I've got to go metabolize all this caffeine. But I'm okay. I'm jacked up right now, so I can answer your question. So go ahead, man. What do you got today, Steve?
You're the guy I'm always listening to when I go running in the morning. So I appreciate you finally getting one of my questions here. So while I was running, I was listening to kind of one of the last master classes on, kind of growing your business. I'm getting ready to launch. I haven't launched yet. I'm a dentist, and I'm helping other dentists basically do specialist procedures and grow their practice.
Okay.
So first question I was going to ask you about was kind of about my pricing, because I thought it was a little bit high, but everyone always tells me to go higher than I think I should go. So they're basically going to get access to these courses that are going to allow them to basically do procedures they otherwise wouldn't hopefully feel comfortable doing. And then a monthly group coaching call at $449 a month.
Yep.
If we did a one-on-one coaching session along with all the other stuff that they would get with the group coaching call, if we did more one-on-one, we were looking at $833 a month. So I know there's a little bit higher.
Why such a weird number? Why such a weird number?
That works out to $10,000 a year because you did the math in the the masterclass for.
So basically, what you're trying to do, $833. So for those of you who don't know, if you make $8,333 a month, you'll make $100,000 a year. So basically, if you can get 10 people doing that, then that's $100K income right there, just off 10 people. Is what you're saying, right?
Yes.
Gotcha.
So,
okay.
I don't need to.
Somebody's paying attention. I like you, Steve. This is what I'm talking about. Somebody's listening to my Kentucky math around here. It's was finally after all these years, man. You know what I mean? All right, cool. So let's talk about your pricing.
Yeah.
Is this the first time that you? I love how you say I'm a dentist teaching people how to become super dentists. Like, that's a great way to ask that question. But like, tell me, is this the first time you've ever offered a price to any kind of person or audience? Basically.
Yes. Yep.
Okay. Cool. Yep. And these are dentists. I think dentists, doctors, lawyers, real estate agents, pharmacists. We've seen a lot of people go much higher pricing with those audiences because the return is so huge. Like if they do these procedures and their practice increases because of what you teach them, it's going to make tens of thousands of dollars compared to the investment that they're making. However, I don't think this is too high. I've seen people charge higher than this, especially for the one-on-one access to you. What I would do is do a beta launch with a steep discount. And I would say, this is going to be $449 a month, but I'm going to let you in for $297, right?
Okay.
Because we need to get people in. And the most valuable thing that beta members bring to you is not necessarily the revenue. Honestly, anyone that joins your membership in the first month of it is probably not going to be there a year later. Let's just be honest, because you don't really know what you're doing. You're creating new stuff. Like, it's all you're learning. You just need people to come in and learn from you, right? So if you have any kind of audience, any kind of list, anybody you can offer this to, I would do a steep like 50% discount, whatever that comes out to being off $449. I would also too, like, this is something I do with pricing. I learned this like a long time ago. Like my core prices, once a number at the beginning of the number is set, like 400, it really doesn't matter if it's 449 or 497 or 499. It really doesn't matter all the way up to 500. We can see this happen on car lots at Walmart. Like nobody cares about, they only care about there's a left number bias in numbers. So what you might want to do is throw this at $497 a month and say 50% off. Now it's $250 basically. And it's just easy math. People love percentages, like half off, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. And price your top level so that you can discount it later. And just see if you can get people in it. It would be infinitely more valuable to get 10 people paying something right now. Yep. So you can hear all their questions and you can hear what they want, and then you can go make it. So when you do get your prices out there into the world and they're ready to rock, that's good. Now, tell me this. This is an important question with a price this high. Even it's one thing to say the avatar has some money. It's one thing to say that the result is worth more than what I'm going to charge, because this is a higher level membership. What's your value proposition? Like when you say like, hey, I'm Steve. Welcome to my Super Dentist website. If you'll pay me $500, I'm going to blank for you. Like what's in the blank?
Over a lifetime of work would be somewhere in the ballpark of $25 million.
Okay, gotcha. Now, let's break that down, though, because people can't wrap their brain around this. How much more was the dentist going to make in a year? Like, how much more did you make a year when you added all these procedures in?
It's approximately, well, I mean, as far as actual just revenue is concerned, which isn't necessarily profit, but the revenue,
sure, 100%.
About $700,000 a year.
Okay, cool. And does your story, like, do you have a story of, I was a dentist, I added these procedures and it added this much revenue?
Yep. And that's how my initial opening podcast is about how I did that. And now, you know, I have one of the larger dental offices in Florida. So it's worked out pretty well.
You can also, all right. So here's what I want you to do with that a little. We're getting into a little story pitch stuff here a little bit, but like, so numbers, the way you present numbers is going to be really important to these dentists. Okay. And like, it's going to be very tempting for you to use like your specific numbers, but you've got to generalize it a little bit. So like, for example, when I speak on a stage, I tell this story. You know, I needed 100 people to pay me $50 a month to make $60,000 a year. Right. And I was really looking for that because me and my wife, when we were school teachers, combined income made about $5,000 a month. That was $60,000 a year. We basically, that was our freedom number to quit our jobs. Okay.
Right.
But the way now in November of the first year we were in business, which was like 2012, I think this was what year this? Yeah, 2012. In November of 2012, that was the first time we ever went over $5,000 a month in our online business. Okay. But I don't give the specific number because we actually made over, I think, $10,000 that month. Right. But in the way I tell it, that was the first month I made over $5,000. Okay. Because I need that narrative in that place. There was never a month. We went straight from like 2,500 to 10,000. It was crazy. Right. So like, I need that moment where I'm like, this was my goal. And this was the first time I got my goal. Okay. And it had to match with what I was selling. So there's some narrative liberty there that's still completely true. I mean, it was the first month that we went over 5K in our business, but the story makes it too unbelievable to go straight to $10,000. That's just not going to happen for everybody. And I needed to close the loop in my story to be like, hey, no, this was the first time we hit our goal. Right. And I think that would be a very interesting thing you could do. Like, I get you made $700,000 once you added these procedures and your story is going to do that. But listen to how clean it sounds. If you change that price to $497 and you say, hey, what if I could help you add $500,000 in revenue next year for $500 a month? Now, that's a really compelling pitch. It has narration. That sentence has narrative. And it has story built in it. And if you can build story into it, there's a pitch. And I think then you could say, and how about this? I don't even charge you that. I'm giving everybody 50% off of 500 to make 500K. Let's go. Right. So start working with your language there a little bit. And do you have doctors or dentists to present this to you right now? Are you ready do you have anybody in the audience? Do you have people you can reach out to? What do you think?
I have nothing.
That's okay. That's okay. That's okay. Yep. What's your plan on content? What are you going to do with content?
Well, so I do have my first month's worth of podcast shot. I'm trying to be prolific as I can. And so I do currently have enough to release Monday through Friday. And then I pulled, basically it's how I created my email list, or my email content as well, which will do the same thing, go out Monday through Friday.
Love it.
So basically trying to generate it from podcasts. And then also I've set aside a marketing budget as well to get started as well.
Nice. I want you to go back into the archives. If you need to, post this in the community, in our forums. And I want you to look up all the podcasts that we've had with Blair Green.
Okay.
Blair Green was a pharmacist who was very similar to you. She basically created, that's one of the powerful things about our community is we've had thousands of people go through it. There's stories for everybody. But she helped pharmacists, which is like dentists, kind of a professional thing, add services to their pharmacy to make more revenue, which you're adding procedures, but there's a very good parallel here. And in the first episode, you'll hear some mistakes she made. Then we had to correct, and then it blew up. And then later on, she even added some higher ticket stuff to it, and she started really crushing it there. So the team can help you find that. But if you go back and listen to a couple episodes from Blair, I think it'll give you some great ideas for this niche. Okay, man?
Awesome. I appreciate all of it. That's the 500 for 500K for $500. That rings.
Yeah, man. And heck, 50% off on the first 20 people that join. You know what I'm saying?
All right.
Love it, dude. Steve, have a great day, man. Awesome stuff. Great question. All right, man. That's the power of this community, guys. Listen, it's not just getting your questions answered. We've probably already answered your questions, right? And we can go back in the archives and we can help you out. And when you're inside the community, that's what we do. We help people find the exact information they need for that next step. And Steve is going to be on his way. Love it, man. Love every business is different. Every price point is different. It's all basically the same foundation, the same strategy. You got to create content. You got to grow a list. You got to serve your people. You got to experiment to get your prices right. Right? Like Bob Barker style, get that prices right. You know what I mean? But you got to throw it out there. Why do you think the whole Price is Right is based on guessing prices? Like that's what we're all doing in the beginning. You just got to throw it out there. You got to make it happen and you got to try. God rest his soul. Rest in peace, Bob Barker. I think he died recently. So I'm going to let that one go. All right. All right. Before we get to our next question, I want to share a can't miss moment with you. I'm a big journaler. I love to journal. That's how I grow as a person. I'll get up every day and I'll write down all the things I want to do. I sit down almost every single night and I write down all the things I did. And I look back at them, and a lot of the things that are on my list, I call can't miss moments. These are moments that we got to experience with our kids, with our family, just in our life that I know would have never been possible if we had not started earning our income online, growing our impact out in the world, and creating this amazing life that Jocelyn and I have created for me, my family, my team, my community. It's just incredible, all these things, man. And you would think after over a decade of being an online entrepreneur that the can't miss moments would run dry, that it would get old. I can tell you right now, you guys, it never gets old. I never wake up and don't pinch myself and say, I get to do this. I get to be born at a time where I can earn my entire income online. I get to be born at a time where I get to work at home. I get to be born at a time where I get to hang out with amazing people from all over the world every single day, talking about a topic that I absolutely love. And I get to experience moments with my family that just would not be possible if I was still working that 9 to 5, still working for somebody else, still living paycheck to paycheck. It wouldn't be possible. And my can't miss moment for this week's episode is a 4:30 a.m. phone call. That's right, a 4:30 a.m. phone call. And you might be wondering, why was I awake at 4:30 to do a phone call? I wasn't. My daughter was. Okay. So this can't miss moment, my daughter, Anna Jo, she's like 12 years old, going on 13 and actually going on 22. And you know how that goes with teenagers and young kids. But anyway, it was the first day of school, and our kids are notorious. Isaac and Anna Jo are notorious for not waking up on time for school. Like we're all over their entire school career. It's me and their mom up there. Jocelyn's up there. We're trying to wake the kids up. We're literally throwing water on them, grabbing them by the ankle, pulling them in the floor, like whatever we can do. Let the dogs run in and lick them. I mean, it's just craziness to get them kids out of bed. So of course I decide I'm going to get up early the first day of school because I know it's going to take me a while to get the kids up. And I wake up and I let the dogs out, and then I hear somebody talking upstairs. I go upstairs at 5 a.m. in the morning, and I look in there, and Anna Jo is completely ready. And she's got the phone set up, and two other of her friends, they all decided they were going to wake up and they were going to get ready together. and they got up early and they set their alarms and they held each other accountable and they were just in there. And I was like, oh my gosh, that's amazing. And I was like, you're already ready? And she's like, yeah, it's the first day of school. And I'm like, you haven't been on time for a day of school. I don't care if it is the first day of school, right? So she was up there and she was getting ready. And I just kind of like thought about it. I went down and, got a glass of water and I was sitting down to read a book and the kids were up moving around. And I thought, man, how cool is it that, Anna Jo has like the latest iPhone. We've got service for her. Like I know a lot of people that don't have phones for their kids just because like it's a big expense to add phones for your kids. She's got these friends that she's connected with and she's using the technology like appropriately to like hold each other accountable. And I was like, man, I know for a fact in my old life, I would not have been able to afford extra lines for the kids. And I know that they would not have that amazing connection with them. And they were literally live. And Jocelyn was saying this too. She was like, can you imagine that when you were a kid? Like, imagine that back in the 90s. Like when I was a teenager, you could call people on the phone, but you'd be like, hey, I'm wearing the white sweater. Do you think it'll look good? And you're like, you can't see it. But now kids can literally like be on camera and talk to each other and do all these cool things. And it's just amazing. And just to be able to provide that resource, that opportunity, and to see it impact my child in a way where she's like getting up early, holding herself accountable, holding her friends accountable. And that's going to translate over into her work world too. So that's my can't miss moment for this week, guys. Just having the extra resources to be able to provide the extra resources that my kids need to give them those unfair advantages in life. Start building those skills, building those relationships, and building that community that they're going to need when they go to college, when they get to work. And that's what we want for you and your family too. We want you to have those resources. We want you to earn your income online and grow your impact out in the world so that you can have can't miss moments like that. Maybe there's something you're like, gosh, I wish I could provide that for my kid, whether it's a phone, whether it's a car, whether it's that college education so they don't have to go into debt. We know that online income is the path that gets you there, to give you that time and money freedom. And that's what we're here for, is to help you make those can't miss moments by starting, building, and growing an online business of your own. And I'm here to help somebody else create the resources that they need for those can't miss moments too. So Kevin, who we got next on the Earn and Grow Show?
We've got Leslie Hasty.
Hey, Leslie, welcome to the Earn and Grow Show. How are you doing today?
Thank you. It's amazing to be on the phone with all of y'all.
I know, man. We got the community here. We got me here. We got the team here, and we are here to support you in your online business. So tell me just a little bit, 2-sentence description of what you do and what you're trying to do to make money online. And then tell me what your question is today.
All right. So I'm starting to build a community and around crafty moms who don't have time.
Wait, did you say crafty? C-R-A-F-T-Y?
Crafty, C-R-A-F-T-Y, crafty moms.
Okay, I was making sure it wasn't like craft tea. I know there's like craft beer and like craft coffee. And I'm like, wait a minute. Is this like is it black tea or Earl Grey? Okay. Like, where are we going? But crafty. We're making crafts. I get it. Totally cool.
Crafty. So moms who like to do crafts.
There you go. All right. That was good. All right. See, we've already clarified your value proposition. This is going well, Leslie. I promise. This is going amazing. All right, keep going.
So moms who like to do crafts, but struggle to get their projects finished. So my membership is going to be to help build a community where we hold each other accountable to get our stuff done so that we can give it away, put it on the mantle or put it on the table. And and I'm an authority because I've been doing all of these things for the last 40 plus years.
Amazing. Did you make that necklace and the earrings you're wearing right now? Did you make those?
Yes, I did.
Those are cool. Those are really cool.
Thank you.
Cool. Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, if everybody's watching on YouTube, you can see the crafty mom at work here. All right, what's your question? What do you need help with right now? How can we support you in this mission? I love this niche. We see a ton of craft people make a lot of money inside of our community. So how can we help you do the same?
So my question is, this week's challenge was to send out 10 emails to guest on podcasts.
Okay.
And I have exactly one episode so far on my podcast. So I'll be recording the next one tomorrow when I have my day off.
Okay.
My question is, how important is it that I am just starting out when I send out those emails asking to guest on someone else's podcast? How important is that to them?
There's a lot of ways that you can provide value doing a guesting strategy. So for everybody listening to this, the guesting strategy is a little strategy we call OPA, other people's audiences, right? You know, how do you build your audience? Well, you go find people that already have people that like your stuff, right? So go, you know, like for example, Leslie would write down 100 craft podcasts or craft YouTube channels and then reach out to that person to try to get on their show. Okay. So like how important is that? There's a lot of ways that you can provide value to someone who already has an audience. It's not just introducing them to your audience. If you have an audience, it's easy because you can say, hey, let's do a guest swap. I have 1,000 people listening to my show. You have 1,000 people listening to yours. Let's see how we do that. But if you don't have a big audience, if you don't have the resource that provides value to the other host, then you've got to get resourceful. What do you have, right? So you can say, I have expertise that I can bring to your audience. I can bring valuable conversation to you and your people. Or you can go back and look through old episodes of their show and you can say, hey, I've seen these 3 people were some of your like, you know, coolest episodes. I talk about stuff like this too. Do you need another guest? And also don't undervalue how hard it is to find guests for shows and podcasts. There's a lot of entrepreneurs out there that are waking up on Monday saying, oh my gosh, I don't have a show for Wednesday. I hope someone reaches out to me and wants to be on the show today, or I'm going to have to go solo and talk to myself. So it's not about like, there's a lot of different ways you can provide value that could make you an important guest on their show that have nothing to do with your audience size. Now, is it going to be easier when you have 20 episodes, you've got people listening and you can say, hey, let's do a swap? Of course, everybody wants to get in front of other people's audiences because we're all kind of like crowdsourcing a niche together to get as many people listening to it as possible. So that is going to be better later. But you got to think of like write down 10 ways you bring value and then tell them that, you know, like 10 ways that I, Leslie, bring value to anyone's space. Why should they should listen to me? Because this is the value I can bring. I can serve their audience. I can take them to the next level. I'm not going to pitch anything. You can also just straight up bribe them. Like, hey, if you let me on your podcast, I'll give you an affiliate link. And if anybody anybody buys anything from me, I'll give you part of the money, right? You can straight pay people. You can be like, hey, I will give you $100 if you will let me on your show. There's a million different ways you can get creative and provide value. I have bought my way onto podcasts. I have hired people to get me onto podcasts. I have offered affiliate links to people to be on their podcast. I've offered podcast swaps. You know, I've done everything but mow their lawn pretty much to get on people's shows, right? And that's going to do it. And I'll tell you another great strategy. I've shared this on the podcast before, on the show before, is if that person sells something, the fastest way you can get into their orbit is to buy their thing and finish the course. Buy their thing and join their community, become a paying member of whatever they do and become a testimonial, and they will probably let you on their show. That's how I got on my first like 10 podcasts is I would just go buy someone's course, community, coaching program. And I'd be like, tell me to do something. And then they would tell me to do something. I would just go do it. And all these other yahoos would get into their community and not do crap, right? Because that's how 80% of people are. You know what I'm saying? They just buy something and get in there. Like, come on, guys, take action. Everybody should be taking action, right? But I just became one of their best testimonials. Now they've got me on their homepage. Now they've got me on their show. Now they've got me on that. So those are all great ways you can get involved. But don't get caught up in your audience size because it doesn't matter. Like, think about this. You know, we're interviewing 3 to 5 people a week here on the Earn and Grow show. We're doing this show. We're putting it out on YouTube. And like most of the people coming in here, they're just starting out. They got $1,000 a month. They've got maybe 100 members. Maybe they're growing. Some people are going to hit big. But like, it's not about that. Think of the value that we're providing to our audience every week just by answering these questions. So get resourceful. What value do you bring to the audience? And then present that out there to them. And then go big. Write down 100 people and see how it works. You'll learn more too. Like every time someone says no, write them back and say, well, what could I do to bring value to your audience? What could I do to get on your show? Because it's my goal to be on your show. I am such a fan of you, and I'm such a fan of what you do. It's my goal to be on your show. So how can I get on your show? What value can I provide? And they'll tell you, and then you'll know. It's not a guessing game anymore. How's that make sense, Leslie?
That's perfect, Shane. Thank you so much for your time.
Awesome.
I love listening to the old calls, and I'm working my way through the blueprint.
Hey, listen, I know that I'm going to see you again in a few months. Leslie, you're going to be a success story, blowing it up. And you're going to be like, hey, Shane, I got on 100 podcasts. I got on the biggest crafting podcast in the world because I took action. I made a habit. All right. All right. Have a great day,
yes.
Leslie.
Oh, yes. You too. Thank you.
Bye. Awesome stuff, guys. Guys, you got to put yourself out there and you got to think unselfishly and you got to tell people, hey, this is what's in it for you. And if you don't know, ask. That's not the whole. That's my whole MO. Like, I hate it when, sometimes we get in our head and we're sitting by ourselves in our basement going, oh man, what's in it for this person? Like, why would they interview me? No. Write down, why wouldn't they interview me? Because I do this, ... and write down 1 to 10 and think about reasons you're awesome and think about reasons you're amazing and think about reasons you can help their audience and let your brain start wrestling with that question. Our brains they're problem solving machines, but you have to plug in the right query, the right question, if you're going to get the right answer out. If you say to yourself, why would they interview me? Like, what's in it for them? You're not going to be able to come up with that. But if you say, wow, I can bring so much value to them, let me list all the ways I bring value to a conversation, you'll find that 99.9% of the time, it has nothing to do with audience size, and it has everything to do with you and who you are and how you can provide value to the world. All right, guys, we've had some great questions today. I'm having a blast. I love recording this show every single week and bringing it out there to the world because I know it's helping thousands and thousands of people out there start, build, and grow online businesses, earn their income online, and grow their impact out in the world. And one of the ways that we grow our impact is with this show. And the way people find this show is they read reviews. So we would love for you, if you love the show, if you have not left a review for the podcast, for the YouTube video, we call it a show because we air it in multiple places, guys. But we want a podcast review from you. We want more people to find this. We want to grow the community, grow the audience, grow the impact that we're having out in the world. And if you value what we're doing here, please go leave us a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts. Tell us what you love about the show. And if you're watching this on YouTube or anywhere else, make sure you subscribe. Make sure you leave a comment on every episode that you find. Make sure you hit that notification bell so you don't miss a single episode. And make sure, no matter what, that you go over to Apple Podcasts. You leave us a 5-star review. That helps us get the message out. That helps us bring more people into the community, which helps more people help you with their answers that you need. And it just makes the show better all around because we get great questions for the show. So make sure you go leave us a review on Apple Podcasts. If you're watching live, if you're in the community, we got a link in the chat right now. Click that, and while you're listening, go leave a review. And hey, if you're listening at home, if you're listening somewhere safe in the office, wherever it is, if you're listening to it at the gym, stop what you're doing, go over there, leave us a 5-star review, tell us what you love, and tell us what you'd like to see more of, and we'll have it for you right here on the show. Kevin, who's next? Who's got a question for us on the Earn and Grow show here?
Up next, we have Jeremy from graceyourface.org.
Grace Your Face. I love me a good rhyming domain name. That is what's awesome. So let's bring Jeremy up and see what kind of question he is. How can we grace his face with an answer to the question that he's got today? My man, the bearded wonder himself. Hey, guys, if you're listening to this, thanks for listening to the show. Thanks for listening to the podcast. But if you're not watching this on YouTube, you are missing the most well-oiled, glorious beard in the history of all beards. What's going on, bro? How you doing, man?
I'm wonderful, Shane. How are you?
I love it, dude. I'm excited, man. You got a pretty puppy behind you there. You got the beard growing. Like, how can we help? Tell everybody about your business real quick, too. Tell them what you sell and do online, and then jump into your question, man.
All right. So what I offer is really simple. I've dumbed it down to an unscented beard oil, naturally scented beard butter and beard balm to come. But my niche is you can customize your own beard oil, your own scents. That's different than any other beard oil company out there. And that's what I want.
That's awesome, dude. Listen, I love Jeremy because I met Jeremy at one of my live events. I was speaking and Jeremy was like outside. The hustle was strong. He was outside selling beard oil after the event and he was making some bank. He was making some money, baby. He was stopping everybody with a beard and saying, you got to try my beard oil. And now he's teaching other people how to do it, man. You got the hustle going on. That's what I'm talking about, man. And I love this niche, man, because like seriously, like you're just leaning into what you do every day. Like you're making beard oils, it's like a hobby people can get into. People love their beards. They take care of their beards. And there's millions of people out there with beards. So I love that, dude. So what's your question today, Jeremy? How can I ask you, or how can I help you take the Grace Your Face to the next level?
All right. Well, I'm not really sure because I had to go back to work for 12 plus hours a day to pay bills.
Okay. That's part of the deal, man. I was there. I built my business the first year working 12-hour days. I got you. So I feel your pain. I know where you're coming from, man. I can help you out of it.
Right. So I've been slacking, but website should be live today as soon as I finalize an email. So I'm really excited about that. I've decided to hire a friend of mine to help market and promote for me.
Okay. All right.
Because I don't have time. So.
Yeah. So are you basically in a spot where you just really don't know what to do next? You just have like you're ready to turn this thing on, but you really kind of like, what's the strategy? What's the plan moving forward?
Yeah.
And it sounds like time is the big issue here. You're very bound on time because how many days a week are you working those long shifts?
Technically, I work 7 days a week, but I do take 25 hours off in a row.
Okay. So, what is your job? What do you do?
Right now I hate plugging these companies, but DoorDash, Grubhub.
I gotcha. Okay. So you're just hustling is what you're doing. You're out there crushing it, driving, making those things happen.
11 a.m. to about 1 a.m.
Yeah, man. That's what I'm talking about. All right. So I'll tell you some tactics. All right. There's 3 things we've got to do. You have no choice. Okay. You have to create content, especially for something like this. Okay. You've got to create content. The content needs to grow the list. Okay. You got to grow the list. And then you've got to market. You've got to carve out some time to actually get out there and ask people to join your membership, join your community, buy your stuff. Okay. Those are the non-negotiables. You've got to do those things. But your problem is you're time bound. You got a lot of things going. So number 1, let's talk about content that you've got to create. Okay. You've got to get the word out. And you've got to get that beautiful beard out into the world and show people what you're doing. Now, I would guess that before you go out the door, or at least, every other day or whenever you stop to breathe and eat, you got to stop and take a shower and clean that beard every once in a while. Is that probably true? That's probably true, right? You're going to take care of your own beard every once in a while. Is that true?
Every once in a while. The big misconception is that everybody does is you got to wash your beard every day, when in reality you shouldn't, but at least once a week.
Gotcha. All right, so listen, so what you just said was a piece of content. Every time you take care of your beard, I want you to make sure you're wearing a t-shirt or something. You don't want to be going naked online here, but like I want you to have a phone in the toothbrush holder in your bathroom, and I want you to go buy like a little wireless microphone or something you can clip on and just have a microphone so it sounds good. And I want tips. I want you to record your content right there as you're doing it. Hey guys, you got to take care of your beard once a week. It's a misconception that everybody's got to do this all the time. So it's Tuesday. I take care of my beard on Tuesdays. And I just wanted to let everybody know that. That's one video. That's a piece of content. You can put that. I would definitely probably do some short form content because you're in such a hurry. So maybe something like TikTok or YouTube Shorts or even Instagram Reels. This seems like a TikTok and Instagram Reels kind of thing right now for something like that. A lot of beard stuff goes on in short form content. But I would guess that every other week, if you would just record videos of you taking care of your beard, even if you're saying the same thing, that's going to create content. So you can just sit and hit record and hit stop, then start it again and be like, all right, the first thing I do every time that I have my beard is I put this oil through it. Now, I made my own oil. I can actually teach you how to make your own oil, but this is how I do it. And then just talk through what you're doing and do the same content every couple weeks. It doesn't matter if it's the same thing. People hear different things all the time. I've been answering the same questions for over a decade on this show, and people keep turning in, right? Because everybody has the same questions, and everybody doesn't hear all my old podcasts. So it's cool, right? So use your beard time to record 15, 20 videos while you're doing different things and doing stuff, right? To create some content. As you're driving around, right? And you're in between calls, in between Uber Eats drop-offs, in between anything else, freaking record beard content. Like roll your window down and be like, all right, here's what you do. If you want to roll the window down, but you got a beard and it's blowing in your face and whatever, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know what you're talking about, but I bet when you eat a sandwich, you get a little mustard in the mustache, right? I bet when you blow the thing down, it gets a little messed up. How do you straighten it back out? You're probably having beard content at all the time. right? And you just got to like stop and hit record on your video. Just go all short form content and try to get your content out there, right? Email list. Every video you make from now on says, hey, if you like this beard content, I got a link in the description. I got a link in the bio, and you can get my free guide to taking care of your beard. And whatever your opt-in is, just end every call with that same call to action. Only have one, so you can remember what it is, and so you can get your pitch down and you can make that happen. And then on that day, when you're taking those 25 hours off or whatever it is, you're taking that day off once a week or something like that, carve out some time and schedule some emails to your email list and just let them go out and make money and do things while you're making that happen. But you've got to go, when you don't have time, you've got to go documentary style. When I first started my football coaching podcast, I did not have time to do my podcast. So I bought a lapel mic, and I had a 45-minute commute to and from my school every day. And I recorded like the first 20 or 30 episodes of my podcast in the car. And I would embrace it. I would say I'm out here Uber Eats. I'm out here picking up an Uber. I'm in between calls. I would say I'm on my way to work. I'm on my commute. As a busy football coach, I don't really have time to hit record. So I was recording stuff about my defense and about my football playbook and about my kids and my players while I was in the car. I did that every single day. And that's how I started podcasting, because when you ain't got time, you got to make time. I didn't say find time, right? You got to carve it out. So if you do that, man, that'll find you some time for marketing. If you got a little help support with it, you said this guy's going to help you do that. Just upload all the videos to them and let them figure out where to share it, where to post it, and where to do those things. And you'll find some time to do that. So you think you can make some time to document yourself taking care of your beard and doing some beard work out in the field?
I will make some time.
That's what I'm talking about. It's good stuff. I know this. If I could grow a beard, I would buy all of your beard oil. But unfortunately, my beard grows like a desert like shrub. All right. It's just like there's not enough water to make I could not shave from now until kingdom come, and I would have 4 little whiskers that looked like an ant was crawling on my face. I just can't make it happen. So unless you've got some Rogaine for the face on Grace Your Face, I can't grow a beard. So I'm not part of your target audience. All right, man.
I did sell your wife a couple of bottles.
I know. I know. Your pitch was so good. I was like, honey, I can't use that, but we're going to pick them up. We're going to buy those. There we go. All right, Jeremy, man, get out there, dude, and make it happen, brother. I love the hustle, man. Guys, you got to have the hustle. If you got to go out there and you got to, if you're not saying it, you're not selling it. And dude, you got to go out there and make that content and say those things. Time is a big issue for everybody. Like, I think we get in our own little worlds and we think, oh, I'm the only one that doesn't have time. All these other people have time to start an online business, have time to grow their income. That is total BS. Entrepreneurs don't have time. We make time. There's never enough time. Like, it doesn't matter how successful you get. You're just going to get less time when you're more successful. You have the most time available to you right now in your life, like everybody else. You got 24 hours a day, 168 hours a week, just like every other human being on the planet. Your success will come when you say no to things that aren't making you money and you say yes to things that can change your family's future. So I want to encourage you guys, do what like these guys did on the show today. Go out there and make time for your online income, make it happen. And once you do that, you can start making some traction and seeing it to pass. That is all the time we have for this week's Earn and Grow show. If you want to be a part of the show, you got to be a member of our community. So listen to these announcements that are coming up pretty soon. We got some different announcements we kind of plug in at the end here. And make sure you head over to shaneandjocelyn.com. We have changed the name of Flip Lifestyle. It's shaneandjocelyn.com coming soon. Shaneandjocelyn.com, and you can learn more about how you can get into our community, be on these live tapings, get your questions answered, not only here on the show, but inside of our community forums. Every single day, join hundreds of people from around the world as they start, build, and grow online businesses to change their family's future. Until next time, I'm encouraging you to get out there, take action, go earn your income online, grow your impact out in the world. Shane Sams is out. We'll see you next week.